Hey, and welcome to Shortcuts episode 10 with me, your host, Paul deMarco. And we're going to build on all the things that we've been doing lately, and we're going to talk about strumming today. Why is strumming important? Why is rhythm even important? Well, let's face it, even though we may want to be whiz kids on the guitar playing solos that really impress people, the truth is 90% of the time we're actually playing rhythm. So if we're an amazing lead player but our rhythm playing absolutely sucks, then we are not a good guitar player. Well, at least 90% of the time we're not going to be a good guitar player. So it's really important, and we've really got to focus on that. Well, we looked at chords a few episodes back, and so you should have some chords. We also talked about warm-ups as well, which we'll bring into this. But we're going to try and open up the strumming possibilities for you, and just try and liven up your strumming. I had a guitarist comment to me, "Oh, is there anything that could get me away from cowboy chords, you know, where they're just playing the same chords and the same rhythms as well?" Well, the first thing that we can address with that is the actual strumming. So let's break it down first of all. We're going to do a little warm-up, and whilst we're warming up, this is going to be another shortcut, but because this is going to teach you a few things about your rhythm playing. So what I want you to do is take a chord. I'm going to play G, and I want you to play eighth notes, which means we're basically going to strum every beat, and we're going to play 8 of them. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so that's nice 8 strums, nice even gentle tempo. Now we're going to play 16ths. Now that might sound more complicated than it actually is. That doesn't mean that we're going to strum 16 times, just constant downs. We're actually going to play the upstroke that we're playing, same speed as we just played, same speed, but instead of just playing the downstrokes, we're going to play the upstrokes as well. So we're going to go 2, 3, 4. Why am I counting one hand instead of counting 16? Well, because it gets difficult when you get up to the double figure numbers. So we might go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. It's bonkers. So don't do that. So you're going to count 1, and you're going to count and in between, right? So we're going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. Okay. Then we're going to play quarters. Now, this means we're going to play 4 strums, but we're not going to change the speed of the strumming hand. What we're going to do is we're going to put in a ghost strum, or 2 ghost strums actually. So we're still going to strum 8 times, or 16 if you're counting the ups as well. But we're only going to play every other downstroke, right? But notice my hand keeps moving. So we're going to go 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8, and... Okay, so notice my hand keeps the same speed. So if you were to mute this video at this point, and I was to play one of them, I won't expect you to mute it, but I'm going to pretend, I'm going to choose one in my mind, and I'm going to play it. And I want you to tell me, am I playing 4s, 8s, or 16s? Okay, here we go. Now, if I was actually hitting the strings, what was I playing? Did it look like 16ths? Was I playing 8s? Well, I was actually playing quarters there. But if you notice, my hand is playing a constant 16th note. This is the key to being a great rhythm player. You watch all the celebrities, all the pro guitar players, right? And watch their strumming hand. Even when they're not hitting the strings, they're still moving their hand. So even if they were literally going... They've got to keep the timing going, because if I was to go... It's just guesswork. So you've got to keep moving. You can tap your foot, you can nod your head, you can move your shoulders, but keeping the strumming hand going, this becomes your metronome. This is what will keep you in time. Okay, so remember, we'll speed it up slightly now. We're going to play eighths again, but a little bit quicker. So we're going to go. And sixteenths. Now back to eighths. And we're going to go down to quarters. Back to eighths. Okay, now let that be your strumming hand warm-up. Eighths, sixteenths and quarters. Instead of starting at quarters and going to eighths and sixteenths, I started at eighths because that's easier. You're playing every single beat that you play, every down strum. And then to sixteenths because it's nice and easy, you just add in the upstrokes that you're already moving through. And then the quarters, you might find a little bit more tricky than the others because the ghost strum, it might feel strange to begin with to be not hitting the strings when you're strumming. But that is the secret to creating strumming patterns. You're going to need to not strike every single strum that you play. So remember, always be playing sixteenths. Your hand should always be playing sixteenths, no matter what your strumming pattern. That will keep you in time, and that will keep your rhythm tight and solid. So please remember that. That is a shortcut to being an excellent rhythm player. Now, let's have a look at some common strumming patterns, because you may find the reason why you're struggling being inventive with your strumming is that you're playing the same thing over and over again. We've just done a basic downstrokes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, right. Well, let's try bringing an upstroke. Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we're going to put an upstroke at the end. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. Okay, a little bit extra interest there. How about we put that upstroke in halfway through? So we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and. Okay, so 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and. Okay, a little bit more interesting. Let's try something else. Let's put the ups after every other down. So we're going to go down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. Okay, so we go 2, 3, 4. Now you noticed I've switched from counting numbers to saying down and up. Well, the reason for that is if we're always counting numbers, it can actually sound quite unnatural to be playing. Whereas actually what we're physically doing is we're going down, then we're going up. So that sometimes can be a little bit more easier to follow and latch on to when we're trying to create a rhythm or trying to learn a rhythm that we've heard. So let's see, let's do a common one, okay? This one is a down, 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 up, up, down, 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 up, okay? So we're gonna go. So that's quite a good one. If you haven't tried that one before, that's quite a nice one to get into. So that's down, 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 up, down, 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 up. The tricky bit there is in the middle where you're missing a down and playing two ups. That can be a little bit challenging. But give that a try, you might find that interesting. Okay, here's a common one. This is one that we would perhaps call the Wonderwall, the Oasis Wonderwall strumming pattern. Okay, so basically it's down, 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 up, down, up, down, 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 up. Okay, so we just added some extra in there. So we go. So they're just examples of ones that you can use. Now, you can create your own, and there's a couple of ways that you can do that. You could write it down. You could say, well, what if I put an up strum here and a down strum there, as long as you keep moving with your 16th notes, and you can try those patterns and see how they feel. Now that's an interesting one. Sometimes it's better to just hear a rhythm in your head and try and copy it. You can get that from copying other rhythm patterns in songs that you're listening to, but also it's good to perhaps try and hear a rhythm. There's a really good exercise that Paul Gilbert does, the guitar player Paul Gilbert, where instead of playing on the guitar, he will actually tap out a rhythm on his lap. So he might go, okay, now if I was to play that, what do I get? Well, I get, which is quite cool. Let's try another one. Okay, now watch out because there's some quarters in there. So we get 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's do one more of those, and then you can try some of your own. Let's try. Okay, let's try that. 2, 3, 4. Okay, now you could keep doing that, but you end up playing things that you wouldn't normally play, and it can come up with some quite cool sounding strumming patterns. So give that a try when you're trying to create some strumming patterns. It's also good to combine strumming patterns, where in the verse you might be playing one pattern, and in the chorus you might be playing another. Let's say our verse was E minor to C, but our chorus was G to C. So our verse might go like this: 2, 3, 4. Then our chorus might go. So you can see what we're doing is we're actually creating a beat. Now, Dave Grohl has a really good tip with this. Now, he's a drummer, but he's also a really great rhythm guitar player. So he always said that he would treat his guitar like a drum kit, whereas the low strings were the bass notes. That would be his kick drum. Low strings, bass notes, kick drum. And then he always said that his snare would be the notes in between, and the upper strings would be like his hi-hat. So you might find that they're kind of going. Now we're doing a little more than just strumming all the strings. We're now targeting which part of the string we're going to play, and that can make a massive difference when you're doing that. I like to change that up a bit as well and make the middle strings my hi-hat and the high strings my snare. So I might go something like. And that can be quite cool. It's nice sometimes to play the root note of the chord as almost like a running bass note, and then just play an accent with the upper strings. So you might go something like. That can be quite a cool thing to do. So experiment with different tempos as well. Play something, you may have a strumming pattern which you like, which might go. Which sounds great on the G, but then you think, no, I'm going to do an E minor type thing. but you think, oh, okay, I don't know, maybe that should be a bit slower. And you notice it kind of influences the way that you play it. So sometimes you might think, but on the C, no, I want to go double time with that. So you can experiment with the tempo and get some cool ideas doing things like that. It's really important that you absorb strumming patterns from songs. So you listen to a song, you hear it, and you go, okay, that's interesting. Now, there's two ways you can do that. You can either figure it out, maybe go online, find out somebody's written it out, numbers or downs and ups, or you can just listen to the beat of the song and try and replicate that. If you've got this constant 16th notes down, you'll find it much easier to pick up strumming patterns. If you're finding that you're going like this, you're gonna have a lot of trouble because you're stopping between strums. Your hand doesn't know whether it should be on an up or on a down. Whereas if you've got that constant 16th note going, you will always make sure that you're on a down when you should be and on an up when you should be as well. Trust me, go and watch your favourite guitar players, pro guitar players in bands or acoustic players. Watch them play and watch their strumming hand. You will find that when they stop playing, their strumming hand is still going. Even with a song like Back in Black, for example. You know, you're still making sure that you're playing those ghost strums to give you a sense of timing. So the one thing that you can do is try and add some single note ideas in. So you might be playing a G, and you might try doing something like this. So you're taking notes of the chord and you're bringing them on and off. So a C is a good one, so you might go. So just bringing that note on and off as you're playing can be quite good, and giving it an accent. We can do a little bit more on chords another time, but I like on a D chord to play what we call a sus4 and a sus2. So what that means is you take a basic D chord, you add your little finger there to give it a sus4, and what you're doing is you're suspending the third and replacing it with a fourth. That's why it's called a sus4. Or you may take that third and suspend it for a second, so the string's open, and you can get these ideas. So there's loads that we can do, but really important in conclusion to remember, always be playing 16th notes. Keep that rhythm constant. Choose which strums you actually decide to hit the strings on and keep that strumming going. Keep that strumming hand going. That is your tempo. That will keep you in time. Try some different ideas. Tap it out on your lap. Just try some things just to make it more interesting for you. And I hope that helps you get away from some of the cowboy chords that you may find that you're playing, and just try some different ideas. So enjoy that, have some fun with it. Remember, try it slowly and just build up your speed gradually, and you'll progress much faster. So I shall see you next time, and please like, share, comment, especially comment, because it'd be good to know how these videos are helping you to develop in your guitar playing ability. And until then, I shall see you, and let's have a little play out of some chords.